Hello friends, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. I know the mood is down. It is very, very down. But we need to discuss this title race. We need to talk about Arsenal. We need to talk about the plan B because we don't have it and it is actually costing us games. I think there's so many positives we can talk about on the podcast. There's so many positives. I'm going positive. I'm not going, we've bottled it. We have out of the title race, blah, blah, blah. I'm not abusing our players. I'm not abusing the manager. No. I'm not doing that on this podcast. If you're fuming and you've not calmed down by now and you still want to abuse and still ranting, this is not the video for you to watch. This video is about positivism. This video is me believing the Arsenal still have a small chance to run away with the Premier League title. But even if we don't, run away with a title, I still think this season is going to be a massive, massive positive in our process and where we are coming from and where we are going. Hit the like button for me first and foremost. Sit down, hit the like button. Let's get this video to 500 likes if we can. And in the comment section, let's have the conversation. Do you think we are still in the title race? Because that's very, very important. And I want to get many of your thoughts here. Are Arsenal still positively and strongly in the title race? Where are you standing as Arsenal fans? Where are you standing now as an Arsenal fan? Have we bottled it? Have we given it away on a silver plate? Or the 3 losses could actually be the fuel for us to go on an 8-10 game run unbeaten and remind everyone in the Premier League that this is Arsenal. We are the Gunners, and no matter the results we've picked up in the last 3 games, we can actually bounce back. I'm gonna tell you why losing these 3 games is very important at this point of the season. We still have so many games to go. Do you know how many games we have to go? It is 16 games to go. 16 games to go. So losing 3 now, it has no impact in my opinion. With the game in hand, it has no impact. But I tell you what, the next games are going to be massively, massively important, and they're going to have a lot of pressure coming with them. Now, of course, the result only speaks volumes. Yesterday at the Emirates Stadium in the evening, Arsenal losing 3 goals to 1. I saw that coming. I didn't do a preview. I didn't do a predicted lineup. I didn't do anything about that game. Apart from Mikel Arteta's press conference, I saw it coming. I knew Arsenal were absolutely going to get obliterated by Manchester City. And the reason why I felt that, it was the Brentford game. It was how we played in the Brentford game. It was the emotions. It was the character we show. It was the lack of resilience. It was the lack of fight. It was the lack of any passion in that Brentford game. And in my heart, I knew Manchester City were going to beat us by 4 goals to 1 or 3 goals to 0. I thought we would lose. And I would never come on this show and say we are going to be obliterated. I just kept my peace, kept calm, and I said, Cossy, whatever comes out of that game, I will come and share my thoughts why Arsenal have not actually bottled the title race. So Manchester City are now flying on top of the table, 51 points, joint top with Arsenal. Of course, the difference is that they have a bigger goal difference than us. They actually have 12 more goals to spare than Arsenal. They have 12 more goals to spare than Arsenal. How good are Manchester City in a season where we know they've not been that good, in a season where we know they still have a lot to do? They have 12 more goals to spare than the best team in the Premier League. Wow, that is absolutely amazing. But what did we learn from yesterday's game? And what have we learned from the last 4 games where Arsenal have picked up 1 point? From the last 4 games where Arsenal have only won 1 game, what have we learned? What we've learned with Mikel Arteta is that he doesn't have a plan B. What we've learned from Mikel Arteta is that the man was right. He was screaming on top of his voice, press conference after press conference in December and in January, and he said, these were his words: we cannot afford to let any transfer window pass by. We cannot afford not to recruit new players in the transfer window. And he said, if you can get me Mikhailo Modric, and if you can also get me Moises Caicedo, it will be alright. It will be fine. We will try. We'll fight until the end. And Arsenal, Edu and the board tried to do whatever we could. We failed. And I don't think Edu set a foot wrong. I don't think the transfer board this time set a foot wrong. No. We went in for Moises Caicedo and bid up to 70 million pounds, right? Why we didn't try for other players is because Mikel Arteta always picks that particular player that is interested in, and he says, I want Moises Caicedo, right? And then we tried to sign Mikhailo Modric, a deal that we placed on the table for Shakhtar Donetsk up to 90 million euros, right? And we failed to get those deals done. It is typically usual in the market. It's normal in the market that you fight, you try to get the players you want, and you fail. And we didn't walk away. We got in Leandro Trossard, for me, who has been very, very good, given the standards that he has as a player. And then we also brought in Jorginho. Again, another player that played very, very, very well yesterday in the Manchester City game. But what we saw yesterday is a difference between a teacher, a senior, and a student. Manchester City under Pep Guardiola put a lot more respect in that game than Arsenal did. And I didn't like it. I absolutely didn't like the fact that Manchester City played a back three and Bernardo Silva played as a wing back. Do you know what that means? It means that they respected us at a very, very high level. They really, really gave us a lot of respect. They played Bernardo Silva as a wing back, right? They were conservative for the first 45 minutes, right? And the only chances they put away, in those 45 minutes, in those first 45 minutes, is a Tomiyasu defensive error. They didn't try to score in any other scenarios. They didn't create chances in any other scenarios in the first half. They capitalized on our mistakes defensively. And I love it from Pep Guardiola because he realized, and just like many clubs are now realizing, Arsenal are very deadly. They start games very, very quickly. 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, Arsenal are going to absolutely tear you apart. They are going to break you. They are going to, they're going to look for ways of dismantling your defense. So what do? Calm down. Give them the respect they deserve. They're on top of the league, right? Just don't allow them to play through you. And that's what Manchester City did. That degree of experience, that degree of respect, right? That Pep Guardiola accorded to this game. I admire that. I wish it was my manager saying, Tomiyasu plays, Ben White plays, Saliba plays, and still Alexander Zinchenko plays and Gabriel plays. And we're playing a back five. I wish it was my manager playing a back five against Manchester City. You know what? No one would have said, "Oh, Mikel Arteta is frightened. Oh, Mikel Arteta is timid." Everyone would have said, tactical genius from Mikel Arteta. He needs those plan Bs. He needs a plan B. Every team that I've looked at in the Premier League, and I've been very, very vigilant, has a plan B. Even Napoli. I've looked at Napoli this campaign. I've looked at Barcelona. Those two teams that I've already talked about that are almost at the same level as Arsenal, right? For the first part of the season. They have a plan B. I've looked at Liverpool. I've looked at Barca before, and we play with Pedri and Gavi. But there are times when it doesn't work. There are times when Sergio Busquets playing in midfield didn't work, and he was forced to play Franck Kessié, and he was forced to play Frankie de Jong in midfield, and it worked out. That's what we call a plan B. We don't have that. Mikel doesn't have that. He wants to play this, every single game in a similar way. We are not yet there for fuck's sake. We are not yet there for Christ's sake, right? So we need a plan B that if we are going to play Manchester City, And it's a lot of defending, because it's always a lot of defending when you play Manchester City. It's always the amount of respect you give to them, right? So if it's going to be that, 2 players on Jack Grealish, 2 players on Erling Haaland, 2 players on Riyad Mahrez, and an extra man on Ike Gundogan, and an extra man on Kevin De Bruyne. That is how you approach that game, right? That is how you approach Manchester City. That is how you approach, teams that have more than 1, 2, 3 key players. We didn't do that. We tried to play through them. We were reckless, right? And that is why whenever we lost the ball, we were on our on our bones. We were being skinned to our bones. We're playing at a very slow tempo back in our own half. And whenever we made a mistake, Manchester City found it very, very easy to capitalize. Why? Because you're playing in your own half. Whenever you lose the ball, it is straight on to go, right? It's not a counter-attack. If you want to see a proper counter-attack, go and watch Dortmund versus Chelsea. Karim Adeyemi moving almost 70 yards. That is a proper counter-attack. But what we were creating yesterday for Manchester City, those are called mini counter-attacks, and they're deadly. They are absolutely deadly. Gabriel gives the ball away to Bernardo Silva. It's a mini counter-attack. Within a blink of an eye, they're onto our penalty area. Within a blink of an eye, the ball is into the back of the net. We can't keep on doing that, right? So let's talk about this plan B and what I think Mikel needs to do. Number 1, teams have found out what Arsenal are all about. Teams now know that if you want to beat Arsenal, there are 3 things to do. 1, double up on their wide players and then force Arsenal wide, right? And that's what they're doing. They're doubling up on Saka and Martinelli, and they're forcing us wide. So literally what they're doing here is they're killing our pathways, and then they're forcing us to play down through those routes, right? You could see with Everton, you could see with Brentford, you could see with Manchester City. Bernardo Silva doubling up, helping out Kyle Walker. They're doubling up on Gabriel Martinelli. Useless in that game. He was useless in that game, just as he was useless in the Everton and Brentford games. Why? Because teams have now understood that if you double up on Martinelli, you've actually killed him. You've actually taken him out of the game. That's what is happening. And again, Nathan Ake, brilliant performance from Nathan Ake. Him, stopping Saka. That is all he had to do. Stopping Bukayo Saka. That is all. And then they had an extra man in Diaz in defense. And in the second half, they switch it up a little bit. They bring on Manuel Akanji and, just allow Bernardo Silva to run riot, right? And create those overloads. So for me, Mikel needs to learn from this game. We need to learn from this game. Teams are going to keep on pushing us wide. They're going to keep on doubling up on our wide attackers. Does that mean we don't win games? No, doesn't mean that. It means we find another way. One of the things I'm really, really liking these days from Mikel is his ability and him being brave to play Fabio Vieira and take off Granit Xhaka. Okay, because Xhaka's role in that team is very, very key and very pivotal. He's one of those players that have the engine to run back and defend, help out the defensive midfielder, and then go up front and create those such problems and overloads and superiority still in the final third. But the introduction of Fabio Vieira allows us to have another creative players who can play through the lines, who can play through the pockets of space. Odegaard is a player that everyone is going to be looking at to stop in this Arsenal team. Okay, Martinelli is a player they'll be looking to stop, and of course, Saka is a player every team will be looking to stop. But who is that extra man? Who is that extra player that you go Fabio Vieira can cook something out of anything? We do not have a prolific, lethal, strong, physical number 9 like Ivan Toney or Alexander Mitrovic. So you need. I don't know how I would say this, but you need countless amounts of creativity. You need countless chances to be created for Eddie Nketiah to put 2 chances away or 3 chances away. We saw that yesterday in the Manchester City game. 2 free headers, 2 well-weighted free headers that he has to put away, and he doesn't. Okay? But you don't stick to him. Why don't we try Gabriel Martinelli down through the middle and try Leandro Trossard on the left-hand side? Because we're trying to switch things up. We're trying to be unpredictable. It's become too predictable. It's too predictable. I can beat Arsenal with my Sunday League team right now. I can beat Arsenal. Trust me. I can beat Arsenal. Double up on Saka. Double up on Martinelli. Put Trossard, Odegaard out of the game. Nketiah, always toothless, of course. And then without Partey, there is no Partey. Okay? So for me, we need that plan B. And it should come very, very quickly. But my question, and I'm sorry I didn't do a poll, is do you think Arsenal are still in the title race? Are we there? Are we still there? And I want to get your thoughts in before we go to why I think we are still title favorites and why I think we will win it at the end. I think Arsenal will win it. Now, Ishmael says, 100% agreed with you. We are not yet there to go toe-to-toe with Manchester City. Have a lot of, caliber players that have a lot of experience compared to, our squad. And that is why I was quite disappointed yesterday. That's why I felt a little bit let down by Mikel Arteta. Like, if they have that level of experience, if they are that good, how do we beat them? That is the question. That is the question we had to answer yesterday. How do we beat them? You don't go toe-to-toe with them, right? Because, Manchester City didn't even try to go toe-to-toe with us. They didn't. Modric didn't have a good game yesterday. Didn't, right? But they played that conservative kind of football. And we gave them the chances. The one thing they did is capitalizing on the errors Arsenal made. I want to ask you guys, how many clear-cut chances did Manchester City create yesterday? We can count them. How many clear-cut chances did they create? One, the De Bruyne goal, that's not a chance. That's not a chance created by them. Okay, the Grealish goal, again, Arsenal giving away the ball. The Haaland goal, again, Arsenal giving away the ball. The only chance I remember them creating is the ball that hit I think hit the crossbar before half time, and then the Haaland penalty, which was offside. Those are the only chances Manchester City had in that game. Those are the only chances that they created in that game. And that shows you that we had them. Mikel, in his press conference, I hope I can get that quote here, because he says, we had them, right? We had them until we gave away those chances. We had them. If you're going to play against them, if you're going to match the levels of Manchester City, you don't give them those chances. You don't. And this should be a massive lesson for Arsenal. It's not only Manchester City. It's Barcelona when we play in the Europa League, right? When we play in the Europa League, we'll play Barcelona, we'll play Napoli. No, not Napoli. Not Napoli. We won't play them this campaign. We'll play Barcelona, we'll play Ajax, right? But if you gift them, if you are that generous, you don't go anywhere in top flight football. We won't get anywhere in top flight football if we are that generous. We need to be stingy with the chances opponents are creating. Brentford created more chances than Manchester City. The difference, City took their chances because they have the players to punish, they have the quality to punish you, and Brentford didn't. But just imagine if we had lost the Brentford game. Just imagine if we didn't have that 1 point, which is right now the lifeline. It is our lifeline. If Arsenal don't have that point, it's game over. It's absolutely game over. But it is not yet game over because we still have that point that makes us level with Manchester City. And we have a game in hand. So let's talk trophies. Let's talk EPL title. Let's talk of the EPL title race, and let's talk of how to run away with it. So the next 10 games Arsenal have are going to be absolutely key. You could call them pivotal. You could call them title deciders. You could call them whatever you want. I don't care, right? I really, really don't care. These 10 games are going to decide whether Arsenal win it or do not win it. After the next 10 games, Arsenal then will be playing Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. And these are the next 10 games we have to play. This Saturday, the day after tomorrow, we will be welcomed at the Villa Park by our ex-manager, Unai Emery. Early kickoff, 3:30 p.m. Early kickoff, 3:30 p.m. Okay? Aston Villa welcome us at the Villa Park. That is a game that you need to win. That is a game that you easily have to win. Whether we play poorly or play well, we've got to win that game. After that, after another long week of no football, then we will play Leicester City at the King Power Stadium. Remember, we are bottled, right? We are bottled 6 points at the Emirates Stadium. That is Manchester City and Brentford. Now, we have to go 6 points. We have to look for 6 points away from home on the road. Why are those 2 games very important? Those 2 games are very important because they will make sure that Arsenal, if we win them, they will make sure that Arsenal are still level on points with Manchester City before we play our game in hand against Everton. After those 2 games, then Arsenal will play on a Wednesday, the 1st day of March. We will play against Everton at the Emirates Stadium. Time for revenge. Sean Dyche has to shed blood. We must shed the blood of Everton in that game at the Emirates Stadium. No questions. After that game, then we take on Bournemouth at home as well. So those are 4 games, 2 away, 2 at home. If Arsenal win those 4, we are back. If Arsenal win those 4, we are back. Right? Those are 4 very important games. Then now to complete the 10, Arsenal will play Fulham at the Craven Cottage. We will play Crystal Palace at the Emirates. We'll play Leeds United at the Emirates. Liverpool at the Anfield. West Ham United at the London Stadium. And Southampton will be coming at the Emirates Stadium. After that, our next 3 fixtures, and this is where Arsenal need to win the next 10 games. This is why the next 10 games are very important. After those games, Arsenal will listen to me. After those 10 games, Arsenal will have 6 games to complete the season. But listen to the 6 games. Manchester City away, Chelsea at home, Newcastle away, Brighton at home, Nottingham Forest away, and Wolves at home. So if Arsenal go into this line of fixtures second best, it's over. We must play Manchester City while we are on top of the table. We must go into that game. It's going to be on the 26th of April on top of the Premier League. Mark my words, on top of the Premier League. And this is my ridiculous prediction. This is my ridiculous thought. I'm saying Arsenal are going to pick up 27 points out of the possible 30 in the next 10 games. That means we lose 1 game. And that is going to be against Liverpool at the Anfield. The rest of the games, we are going to win them. It's time for us to bounce back. We are going to bounce back. I don't think we're a shit side. I don't think we are. And that's why I'm not ranting. Right? That's why I'm not very, very disappointed with that, with that Manchester City, loss. No. Right? So the next 10 games are absolutely crucial. Right? They are absolutely crucial. They give us the title or they lose it for us. If we can enter April, I think our first game of April is going to be Leeds United at home. Right? If we can enter April at least 3 points above, and then pray that Manchester City somehow slip, And then by the time we play them, we are 6 points ahead. I think Arsenal will, with a small margin, small margin, win this title race. But it's not going to be that easy. It is absolutely going to be very, very difficult. Okay, but it's going to call for a lot of action from Mikel Arteta. It's going to call for a lot of action from the players. These simple, silly mistakes, the pressure that we're putting ourselves on, should stop. It ends here. It ends here. There is no more need for pressure. It's now or never, right? We are going into every game playing like a final. We have a string of 10 easy games. Can you believe it? 10 easy games, 10 winnable fixtures, right? I can excuse Arsenal against Brentford because we had Manchester City on our mind. I can excuse Arsenal for Everton because I don't know the excuse for Everton. I cannot excuse Arsenal against Aston Villa. I cannot excuse Arsenal against Leicester City. I cannot excuse Arsenal against Southampton, West Ham, Leeds, and the worst Liverpool side. We must beat them home and away. No question. We must beat them home and away. But I need your thoughts. Is there still hope in your hearts? Is there still hope in your heads that Arsenal win it, or it's absolutely over for you? I need to know. I love my team, Arsenal. We will regain our lead again. Says Mwene. Brilliant. I love that. I love the enthusiasm. Athman says, hi Cossy, I do agree with you. We should deploy Martinelli to the down through the middle and play Trossard to the left. Then Tomiyasu is not a big match player. I will agree with you, everything you've said, apart from Tomiyasu is not a big match player. That is where, not one game. A player, not one game. Right? Tomiyasu's done very well against Heung-min Son before. He's done very well against Mo Salah before. He's done very well against some of the most elite attacking players, including Marcus Rashford at the Emirates Stadium this season in the second half. You cannot then convince me that it's not a big game player. It was one game. And for me, at times, Mikel needs to take some of the blame for these boys. Mikel literally doesn't play Tomiyasu for a very long time. And then he throws him into the fire against Manchester City. Why doesn't he give him some 20 minutes in each and every game? Why doesn't he give him some, when we play Brighton, when we play Southampton, right? Why doesn't he give him some 70 minutes? So that he feels part of the team, so that he has that much fitness. So Tomiyasu is not a big game player. I disagree with that. I think if there is one player I want to play, I would call for more game time to play more regularly in the side is Takehiro Tomiyasu. If there is one player I would go play him every single game, is Takehiro Tomiyasu. I know many of you might not like him. I know many of you would say, Cossy, he was schooled by Jack Grealish, and all that. I think he gave away so many mistakes, but I think he's still enthusiastic. I think he's still a very good player. For me, if he's given the opportunity to play every single game, he can do better than Benjamin White. He can do better than Ben White. Absolutely. So I don't agree with that. I really, really don't agree with that. I don't think Tomiyasu is not a big game player. It's too much. It's too carried away. That is too carried away. I don't agree with that, actually. Okay, but let's see what many of you are saying. It says, Cossy, let's show some of these on stream so that I can look at them, right? Okay. This is Adalaja, says Tomiyasu is a big match player. I just don't think we need to let Martinelli rest. I just think we need to let Martinelli rest. Okay, let's see. Martinelli rest and play Trossard more. Look, if you're manager, you've got to change it. You've got to rotate. What I don't understand with Mikel is him saying that his squad is small. And then when he gets the players, he doesn't rotate the team. Like, I don't know, but I don't understand that. Right? I don't understand that. If you're a manager and you're asking for more players, and then you get those players, then try to show us the rotation. Where is the rotation? It's not there. Right? It's not there. Where is the rotation? We need to see the rotation. We need to see, the mix-up, right? You see with Pep playing Ike Gundogan, and then he plays Bernardo at times, and then he plays, this young boy. Is it called, Lewy something? And then he plays. You've got to change it. If you want your players to stay on form, you've got to change it. Okay. So for me, I think Tomiyasu is okay, but Martinelli needs to be rotated. If Partey don't come back early and Jesus, we can't win the title. Not good enough, says Nathaniel. I think with Thomas Partey, we need to be... I don't think we need to be too scared, but we need to be concerned when Thomas Partey doesn't play for Arsenal. We really, really need to be concerned. I've not seen Arsenal like this. I've not seen Arsenal like this when, this season, maybe. But whenever Thomas Partey is not in the team, whenever Partey is out, it's disaster. It is pure calamity. So without Partey, I'm concerned. But I still think Arsenal do still have a chance because Jorginho played quite well in yesterday's game. We love you in Uganda, Cossy. Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you so much. I love you too. People in my land, and I hope we can actually bounce back. I really, really do hope we can bounce back. Sina says, but Martinelli is not really good at the center. Look, I think with Gabriel Martinelli playing down through the middle, we are calling for a change in system. I mean, it doesn't hurt. Try to change the system because when you play Eddie Nketiah, it's easy to put him out of the game, and that's what teams are doing. But when you play Gabriel Martinelli, a player who doesn't, who's restless, he's not always pinning in that number 9 role. It gives us something different. It gives us. I do not have my tactical board, but then I would show you, and I'm going to do a video. Players Mikel Arteta should drop. And players Mikel Arteta should rotate. And I'll show you why Gabriel Martinelli needs to play down to the middle, not Eddie Nketiah. Because with Martinelli, you're having a player who is happy to be in position, happy to run, but then you're having a more clinical finisher. And that is one thing we've forgotten with Gabriel Martinelli. Last season, our best finisher behind Alexander Lacazette was not Aubameyang or Emile Smith-Rowe. It was Gabriel Martinelli. Very, very clinical. The rate at which he puts the ball in the back of the net is absolutely phenomenal. So for me, just change it up. Just shake it up a little bit, right? And I reckon with Emile Smith-Rowe coming back, we might see Trossard and Emile Smith-Rowe start coming into the lineup, right? Okay. Let's see what many of you are saying here. Let's see what many of you are saying here. Okay. Dennis says our boys have played more games. We need to change from the wingers. Try Smith-Rowe for Eddie Nketiah. I don't want Emile Smith-Rowe down through the middle. I don't want him to play in that false 9. It's a wastage of time. We don't have that time to waste. Right? We don't have that time to waste. Drop Eddie Nketiah, play Martinelli or Trossard down through the middle, and change that left-hand side. Get it working again. Do whatever it takes to get the left-hand side working again. I don't care what it takes. I really, really don't. Okay. Let's see. Trossard is more clinical than Gabriel Martinelli, says Facina. Is he more clinical than... Okay, he scores a lot of goals. I will give it to him. He's got a goal in him. But is he more clinical than Gabriel Martinelli? I do not have the statistics to back that right now. I don't have the statistics to back that right now. John says, Cossy, if I can support your prediction, only if Gabriel is back fully to the team from injury. I think it will be a massive boost. He will be a very, very massive boost. Because, let me tell you something. If Gabriel Jesus is in that game, he massively shakes up Manchester City's rest defense, right? He massively shakes up Manchester City's rest defense, and Pep Guardiola will be scratching his head looking for options because you can't stop him. You literally can't, right? He's, if you stop him, in the final third, he's on the center line. He's trying to do things in a different way. So, yeah, he will be a massive boost when he comes back. That I agree with you. I really, really do. Cossy, it's time to start Leandro Trossard. I hope I'm really, really happy that people are looking at this in the same light that like I do, because many people say we are overreacting. We are not overreacting. Leandro Trossard needs to start games, right? Leandro Trossard needs to start games. The best teams, this is what the best teams do. I'll give you an example. When Rafinha and Dembele were not playing very well, Ousmane Dembele at Barca, what Xavi did is he then started playing Gavi on the left-hand side, and he let Dembele and Rafinha, compete for one spot. After some time, Rafinha and Dembele started playing, massively well at a very, very high level. And you know what happened? Both of them went back into the starting lineup. Okay? That is what Mikel Arteta needs to do. Players need to start, owning, meriting, to being in the starting 11. There are 5 or 4 players that don't deserve to be starting right now. Xhaka doesn't need to be starting right now. Nketiah doesn't deserve to be starting right now. Ben White doesn't deserve to be starting right now, and William Saliba doesn't deserve to be starting right now, and Martinelli. Those are 5 players that have dropped off in form, and there is no caution. Bear in mind, Benjamin White is a centre back. Bear in mind, Tomiyasu can play as a centre back. Bear in mind, we have a certain guy called Jakub Kiwior. Bear in mind, Leandro Trossard can replace Gabriel Martinelli. Bear in mind, we have Fabio Vieira for Granit Xhaka. All those players need to be shown that you are not here to waste time. You can start if you're playing very well, but if you're not playing well, fuck it. You're getting out of the lineup. You're sitting on the bench. I would be very, very happy if Mikel Arteta dropped Xhaka, Martinelli, Saliba, and Ben White for 3 consecutive games. I'll be very happy, right? And then bring them back in the side. You know what that is? When you bring them back in the side, they'll be trying not to get out of the side again. But these lads are kind of going, I'm starting at Arsenal. We are on top of the league. Even if I don't play well, we'll start. Well, that should not be the mentality. Play Rob Holding. Right? I don't like him, but play Rob Holding. Try to show William Saliba that whatever you are doing, there is a player who can get in front of you. He's not doing that. Yeah. He's not doing that, and it is costing us. It is costing us points. It's costing us games. Okay, let's see. Dennis says, I still have the hope that the trophy is for us. No doubt about it. Trust the boys. They will actually bounce back. And that is why that Aston Villa game, I'm going to do 5 previews, 5 damn previews, including a combined 11 for Arsenal Aston Villa. I've never done it for such a small game, for such a small team, but I will do it. And the reason I'm going to do it is because if Arsenal lose points in that game, oh my God, we are doomed. We are done. How important is that game? How important is Villa away? How important is Villa away? How important? So we will bounce back. No question about that. We will bounce back. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dennis. Okay, let's see. And the Joma says we need to drop Nketiah and play Martinelli, while Trossard will play the left wing. Are we being too sympathetic with Gabriel Martinelli? I think we need to have the discussion as well. right? As we talk about Mikel Arteta having a plan B, are we being too sympathetic with Gabriel Martinelli? Are we being too lenient with Gabriel Martinelli? My answer there is no. Yesterday, let me tell you guys, yesterday, Xhaka has a glorious opportunity. You know, you remember him sleeping, right? You know, falling down after a brilliant tackle by Diaz. He has the opportunity to play in Gabriel Martinelli, because it is Xhaka and Martinelli versus Diaz. That guy, and that is what every Arsenal player is doing right now. He doesn't play the ball into Gabriel Martinelli. What he does actually is he takes another touch and slips. Martinelli has made the run, and Martinelli is absolutely fuming. But before that, in the first half, Eddie Nketiah gets a chance. He's absolutely nowhere near scoring, but Martinelli has made a run into the penalty area. He has to cross it. He has to put it in the penalty area. That warlord decides to... I don't want to be fuming on this podcast, but we are killing Martinelli, and it is intentional. We are killing Gabriel Martinelli. I just don't understand. And that shows you the level at which Gabriel Jesus was, you know, putting this Arsenal defense. It shows you the level at which he was, you know, putting this Arsenal team, right? Nketiah has to put that ball back for Gabriel Martinelli to have a tap in. That is number one. Xhaka has, you know, all Xhaka has to do is to slide that ball into Gabriel Martinelli. Because when he does that, it takes Diaz out of the game. Not only that, it opens up a chance for Gabriel Martinelli to score or to cut it back for anyone arriving in the penalty area. That is why you have a player overlapping for you. That is why you have a player making an overlapping run. Xhaka, oh my God, drop him for once. Just drop him for once. These boys are now feeling undroppable. Mikel, as a big manager, he needs now to show authority, right? We saw the All or Nothing documentaries. We saw him absolutely fuming. It is time to fume. It is time to back at those players. It is time to tell them what has to be done. Xhaka has no excuse for not playing that ball into Gabriel Martinelli. In fact, it should have been Xhaka off the pitch first to show fairness, and then Martinelli last. Nketiah has no reason for not cutting that ball back. No reason. Absolutely no reason. Okay. So for me, still, Shada says Martinelli is still good. The reason Zinchenko is playing in midfield, then left back, he can't help him. Tierney needs to start. I mean, there's so many opinions here, but I think Zinchenko has been a very, very good player for us. Very, very good player. I don't think he needs to be dropped for now. Not really. He suits the system better and allows us to play the system better. Nasa says, I think Tomiyasu to start was a very, very big mistake. Come on, guys. All the players didn't have a good game. Let us stop the favoritism. If you're calling out players, and this is the problem that we are having right now with Mikel Arteta, it is the favoritism. If we are calling out players, if we are talking about players that didn't play well, call out each and everybody. Don't look at Tomiyasu, right? Because he had a deflection, and then he had a chance given away. William Saliba had an atrocious game. Gabriel Magalhaes had an atrocious game. Okay? All those players, call them out. Zinchenko had an atrocious game. Call them out. Yes, it was a mistake to play Tomiyasu, but it was a mistake to play Gabriel. It was a mistake to play Saliba. It was a mistake to play Zinchenko. It was a mistake to play Martinelli. It was a mistake to play Eddie Nketiah. No one talked. What about the chances that Eddie Nketiah was getting on goal and he was heading them as if he was, giving someone head? What about that? We need to talk about those chances as well. Everyone, no one escapes the criticism yesterday. I don't want to hear this, name calling, right? I don't want to hear the name calling. I'm saying everyone didn't have a good game, and that's it. For me, all the players had a very, very, very atrocious evening. When we start, defending some and attacking some, that is where the problem is. Xhaka had an atrocious game, right? So all the selections yesterday were not good. So let's call out each and everybody who is ball watching, who is ghosting, right? They are ghosting as if their second names are called We Ghost. We cannot be ghosting. Your name is not We Ghost. Your name is Granit Xhaka. It's not Granit We Ghost. No. So you cannot be ghosting in that game. You cannot be ghosting in 3 consecutive games. Okay? So we are not calling out one player. We are calling out the general performances. See what you people are saying. Fasina says, Cossy, I agree with you on the competition among players. Exactly. And Mikel is also doing this. Mikel, he's played under one of the managers that understand the art of squad rotation. He's been under one of the managers. Guardiola understands squad rotation, but he still doesn't rotate our squad. He still plays one player every single game, and then he leaves no option for the he leaves no option for competition. Let's have the competition start now. Yeah, I'm very, very sure if I played Charlie Patino in the next game, he would have a massive impact. I'm very sure if we played Florin Balogun in the next game, he would bury one of those chances. I'm not saying call them back from their loan spells. I'm saying create the competition. That is Mikel Arteta's fault there. Okay. I'm loving the stream. Hit the like button, people. Let's have the like button up. I'm loving the stream. Andrew says drop Nketiah, move Martinelli, and then Trossard. Gabi Magalhaes, Gabriel Magalhaes had one poor game. Yeah, Gabriel Magalhaes had, 2 poor games. Brentford and Man City. I'm not saying shake up the whole squad. No. I'm not saying, don't have a consistent starting 11. No. I'm saying if there are 3 players that are not playing well, change 2 of them. Like, you can leave Saliba in defense, rotate Martinelli and Xhaka. Or rotate Martinelli and Eddie Nketiah. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying disorganize the whole system. No, I'm not for that. I'm not that guy. Cities to 2025 says I don't understand why Arteta brought Tommy that has not been playing on weak teams on such a very, very big game. Maybe it was a tactical. Thing that he got wrong. It can always go wrong. It can always go wrong, right? It can always go wrong. But we shouldn't give up on our team. I'm telling you guys, we shouldn't give up on our team. We need to stay together as fans. Okay? Yeah, we need to stay together as fans. And whatever we do, whatever we say, we need to stay together as fans. We are on 50 likes. Let's get that to 60. Hit the like button if you have not yet done that. Hit the like button. Just hit that like button. Right. So that's it. Not a very, very good week, but we have a chance to turn things around, and that's I think Mikel will be looking to turn things around. I'll speak to you in the next one.